With sunsetting becoming a thing in the franchise of Destiny, there are a good amount of concerns that players have been having since the announcement, and Season of Arrivals has not helped that one bit. When Bungie first announced plans for sunsetting on May 14th, people immediately took to Reddit and Twitter saying that they would be highly disappointed if they had their weapons become unusable in endgame content, only for the exact same item with the exact same rules to become an option for them to spend countless hours grinding out content to get their god roll back that needs to be masterworked all over again. And what happened? That exact thing happened. Season of Arrivals, with a much more limited loot pool for a better chance of replacing your soon-to-be sunsetted weapon, has become pointless. The style of gameplay loop is probably one of the laziest ways you can do it. I think the larger issue is that within Destiny 2, there aren't really foundries for a style of gun compared to Destiny 1. While there are in Destiny 2, they aren't being utilized how they once were and should be. When it comes to a style of the gun, the main three were Hawk, I don't know, I think I'm saying that right, Suros, and Amalon. Each with their own unique style, allowing for multiple different weapons. Let's use snipers for an example. But they share a similar look, but different enough that people are going to be interested. So, what went wrong? From that aspect, can't really say since I obviously don't work at Bungie, but if I had to guess, they wanted to be able to make more unique and interesting weapons while not being limited to a set style like those foundries had to offer. Unfortunately, this led to more of a system of focusing on RPMs and like an architecture, and seems like less design work, which ends up making your weapons feel less special and makes you have less of an attachment to them. Hence why people hated the idea of reprised or reskin weapons. If we look at reprised weapons, that everything, the loot pool for Season of Arrivals is pretty much reprised, except for the few that are available with the Season Pass or like the special Umbral Engram weapons. Meaning that if you want a higher power level, you gotta grind more, like I had mentioned earlier. And then there are the reskins. One that I'm going to mention is the style of the legendary sniper, Widow's Bite. It was originally introduced in Year 1 of Destiny 2, then it came back in Shadowkeep as Apostate, then again in Season of Worthy as Distant Tumulus, and then again, but this time it was as a reprisal instead of a reskin during Arrivals as Widow's Bite again. So what makes these weapons different? Literally two things. The color or texture on the gun to make them feel more like Hive-like or whatever, and then obviously the max power level. That is why people get annoyed that there isn't enough incentive to go grind anything, because all we get is the same loot but different look. When I saw that the Arrivals Iron Banner quest had the auto rifle, that was literally the origin story from the freaking beta, but with an Iron Banner color scheme and a special perk, I don't think I ever felt more let down about an event. While it is Iron Banner, not like a huge event, it's still something that people look forward to. While I understand that with the franchise entering its 7th year, it's much harder and gets harder to make a new style of guns, I just wish that they do a little more than just almost copy and paste for the style. I'd even be down to bring back some Destiny 1 legendaries to add more unique options, or make blues into legendaries since they never get used. You can go through the collection tab and see so many interesting looking blues, but they get scrapped and not used. And all they gotta do is add on some unique part, or change up some curves, or even remove like some sections to create more of a hollow looking weapon, kind of like they did with the Wrath of the Machine raid weapons. Like those were interesting. It's literally just like look like metal poles. Hopefully this is why Bungie has started to do sunsetting, so that they can rotate out some of the options and keep them on the back burner for a couple seasons. I think then I'd be a little bit more okay with it, if they keep the loot pool small enough so I can feel excited and be able to use something new instead of, oh joy, another origin story, yay. Just happened plenty of times. When Beyond Light comes out, all I want for the loot pool is to not have anything from the past 3 years of Destiny 2, unless they actually made it like some worthwhile changes. The only weapons that I would be okay with being in the loot pool would be the new ones with an arrival, since they have that like darkness feel to them, which obviously will match the story. And if they do bring back some other weapons, at least update it so that we can have the kill counter of our old one. Like, pretty much bring up the power level of an old one. And because if Guardians have put in enough time using that gun, it's pretty much a staple for that Guardian. Also, I'm not sure how it would work out in the end, but I might also be down if they only offered a certain section of weapons per season. Like, kind of already do that. I think it'd be improved on to the point where they end the year with like the more popular weapons of archetypes and RPM were in the loot pool. Like, one option would be an interesting one where come out with some sort of first season of the year would be like auto rifle, shotgun, and like rocket launcher per se. And then as the year goes on, you add on a season, the loot pool increases with guns, so you can then add in like hand cannon, sniper, and grenade launcher. Instead of keeping like season specific loot and like taking it away, that way let them all have the max power level by the end of the year, and don't scale it by seasons, so you can avoid the annoying grind as mentioned earlier. The only time where I think adding in reprised weapons was going from D2 to from like year 1 into year 2 to allow for random rolls. And that should be the only time it happens. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens in November with Beyond Light. That's all I've got for today's video. Thank you for watching, and if you did like today's video, feel free to like and subscribe for more Destiny content. And if you have a favorite weapon that you are using in the game at the moment, feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll see you all in the next video, and maybe in the meantime, I'll see you in the tower. Stay safe, Guardians.
Defeat comes for us all.